In what the government is calling a Yuva Shakti-driven Union Budget for financial year 2026-27, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has rolled out a set of moves aimed at boosting liquidity, formalization and access to growth capital, especially at a time when global trade headwinds are only getting tougher. And for India's small businesses, the ones powering jobs, local manufacturing and grassroots entrepreneurship, this budget could be a big turning point. MSMEs aren't just a small segment. They contribute to 30.1% India's GDP and employ a massive 28 crore people as of last year. For this segment, government has announced a 10,000 rupee crore MSME Growth Fund aimed at providing equity support to enterprises based on select criteria. On top of that, there's an additional 2,000 rupee crore infusion into the Self-Reliant India Fund, which was launched back in 2021 with an initial corpus of 50,000 crore rupee target, specifically at MSMEs with higher growth potential. The government has now mandated TReDS as a default settlement platform for all purchases for MSMEs by central public sector enterprises, aiming to speed up payments and improve working capital. And finally, there's a push to reduce compliance burden. Professional institutions like ICAI, ICSI and ICMAI will now design modular short-term courses to create a network of corporate mitras, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities to help MSMEs handle compliance at affordable costs. So the big question is, does this budget actually deliver for India's MSMEs? Well, we spoke to industry leaders and stakeholders tracking the MSME space closely, and here's what they had to say on the budget's big bets for small businesses.
A budget that focuses on long-term economic resilience, structural reforms, and inclusive growth. The emphasis on digital infrastructure, MSME empowerment, and future-ready capabilities reflect a strong commitment to building a sustainable and competitive economy.
So I think the MSME Growth Fund, 10,000 crores allocated towards that. Yes, it might not seem like that big an amount, but it can go a fairly long way. So that is one that definitely stands out.
The budget introduces several positive measures, including steps to strengthen MSME liquidity. It is through digital payment platforms and again investments in technology-driven governance through a clear focus on education, skilling and innovation.
Other one is TReDS. Now, trade receivables, this is a big problem for MSMEs, and which is CPES, which is the central public enterprise, companies. For them, to have 7 lakh crores allocated towards TReDS, I think that's a big one. Bill discounting is often a problem, and I think that is a big one for MSME enterprises as well. Apart from that, custom reforms, we're seeing some custom reforms. We're also seeing flexibility on filing of returns. So now you can actually, you have some extra time. Yes, there's a little bit of a compliance cost associated with that, but I think that's a really good one as well. And of course, there has been certain plans, slightly longer term, towards ports and roads, and I think that will help towards a better cargo movement.
The push for future-ready education with AI at its core is the decisive step toward building an innovation-led workforce. By emphasizing AI and digital skills early, India can move beyond employability to adaptability, create AI-enabled talent at scale, and strengthen its position as a global innovation and AI capability hub.